In this video, we're going to talk about variables in C++. Here are some key points that you will learn after watching this video. First, variable in computer programming, and the second, data types in programming, and the third one, data type specifiers, and at last, the real working code we're going to create at the end of this video. So make sure to watch this video entirely. So let's start with characters. Characters consist of linguistic symbols and spatial symbols, and at last we have non-printable characters which has the intent of doing something, not to represent anything. Next we have numerical values which consist of integers and floating point numbers. Now, to work with all these characters and numbers, we must have an entity which can hold those numbers and character values. So this is the point where variables comes in. A variable is an arbitrary value which can be any possible value in the specified domain of that type. Here you must have to pay an attention that a variable is also a value belonging to the specified domain. That means you can apply all the operations on the variables that can be applied to the values of that domain. Now let's understand this through an example. Suppose that we have given a domain which consists of only integers. We have also given a variable of type integer which can contain values of type integer, for example 1, 3, 2, and 4. But what if I insert a floating point value, that is 2.3? This will not be possible. But why? The reason is you can only assign a variable a value belonging to the domain of that variable. However, you can also convert a value of type 1 to a value of type 2. But this is the topic of another video. You will learn more about those things in the later videos in this series. Considering computer programming, we can have majorly three types of data, or simply data types. The first one, floating point data type, and the second, integer data type, and the third, character or symbol data type. Each of these have their corresponding acronyms in programming languages, whether it is the C, C++, or C#, or even Java. The most important thing here is the character data type, because all the characters are just the numbers in computer programming. Let's learn each of these data types one by one. Now let's first consider integer data type. Integer data type is classified as the signed integer and the unsigned integers. Signed integers can contain both of the negative values and non-negative values. On the other hand, unsigned integers can only contain the non-negative integers. Now they are further classified as long and short. All of these types have their range of values that they can store, and out of this range, underflow or overflow can happen. Now we can tabulate all of these permutations as shown on your screen. Here, integer takes 4 bytes and signed integer takes also 4 bytes. Actually, signed integers and integers are just the same thing, and this is the same case with short integer and signed short integers. Now let's work through a question. Suppose that we have given a number 2334 which is less than 32767 and which is also less than 65535 and greater than 0. And my question is, what are the possible data types for storing this kind of number? The answer is, the possible data types can be signed integer, unsigned integer, short integer, unsigned integer. Now let's consider another example. Suppose that we have given another number 4294967290 which is less than 4294967295 and greater than 65535 and also greater than 32767. Now again, the question is, what are the possible data types for storing this kind of number? The answer is the only unsigned integer. Now let's consider the next data type, which is character data type. Character data type is the 8-bit version of integer data type. That means it has also signed and unsigned classification. Both of the signed and unsigned has their limited values to store. Now the different versions of the character data type can be tabulated as follows along with their memory sizes. Now we have few more data types here. The first one is the float, which is used for low precision values, and the second one we have double, which is used for storing high precision values, and the last one long double, having the prefix long. That means it is the advanced version of double, which can use to also store high precision values, but it can store very high precision values as compared to the double. Now let's see how you can declare a variable in C++. First of all, you have to specify the data type of that variable, and then the name of the variable, and then semicolon. Note that the identifier can't be reserved keyword in C++. So valid declarations are given below. Now let's see how these all look like in the real code. First of all, let's declare a variable. First, we have to specify the data type. We can write integer or short integer or unsigned short integer or long integer. But we can't use the combination of long and short because the integer can only be long or short. So you must have to be careful here. So let's declare the variable integer, and then we have to write the name of that variable, and that name must not be a keyword in the C++ language. That means we can't name our variable as auto because it is a reserved keyword in C++ language. Okay, or we can't actually name this variable as float because this is also a reserved keyword in C++. So let's write our variable name called variable. Okay, we want to know what the size of this variable. So we have to use a sizeof operator and get the size and then print to our output screen. So we have to use this keyword sizeof. This is actual inbuilt function in C++. We have to pass variable. Okay, it is not necessary to pass only variable, but we can also pass integer or float or double or long double or short integer or simply short or long or characters. Okay, so let's rewrite this variable and see the output. Now you can see here we have 4 bytes of memory allocated for this variable, and similarly you can also write as float variable, and then we can print the size of float variable. Hope you can see what we are doing here. Let's recompile again. Now you can see that both of integer variable and float variable takes the same memory on the stack of this program. So this is all about the data types and variables. If you like this video, then make sure to subscribe and like and share.